Not all people should learn a second, third, and so on language as they are not mentally able for it, nor will it benefit them. Most people around the world study a language through the grammar translation method, which emphasizes memorizing some vocabulary and rules for the target language and translating information into their native language. Translation is important, but computers, especially ChatGPT, translate better than humans more than 90% of the time. Also, the majority of students are presented with languages as more of a mental or educational hurdle to achieving their goal of graduating in formal educational settings. The premise is flawed here, and it actually can have negative repercussions that will hurt their education and language learning. Desire is a huge factor in wanting to learn a second language, and if one does not want to do it, then move on and find something else that interests you, because life is too short, and you will be wasting your time, as you will most likely not set goals properly and enter a cycle of being a false beginner. In the Convention on the Rights of the Child, the United Nations has plainly stated that children have a right to speak their native languages, but in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the same protection is not afforded to adults. People who immigrate to a country should make a concerted effort to try and learn some of the local language, especially if they have been permitted to do so as a result of war or disaster and fall under refugee status. These individuals are generally a burden on economic systems prior to learning some of the language, but they can be some of the biggest contributors to an economic system over time. Adult language learners need a sense of self-respect and desire to learn a language, which are a necessity if they are to cope with the challenges of learning a language. If the desire and correct mindset do not exist, they probably will not be able to personally manage and will reject what they are trying to do. This could be a waste of time and lead to feelings of embarrassment, or even worse, they could use a second language to engage people who use the language with hostility and vent their frustration regarding their choice to learn a language, which could lead to negative outcomes, such as harming their soft skills, worsening their intercultural communication, and much more. The psychology of learning a language should be based on desire, and people learning it should develop a customized program. In general, to master a language, it takes years, and one will need to be fluent in reading, writing, listening, and speaking. This, however, is a traditional approach, and if you are learning a language for professional purposes and are not being tested, one should not waste your time on focusing on being fluent. Individuals who are self-studying a language should set achievable goals and shift their goals as their language learning level increases. People learning a language need to set short achievable goals to continuously improve and to keep their motivation high. A language learner needs to identify at each stage what they will need to learn next through self-study to keep themselves motivated and to continue having successful outcomes in their studies. The digital age has brought about many tools, which are often free, that can assist in helping people to learn vocabulary, train their listening, enhance their reading comprehension, and improve their writing. There are many online platforms and apps that people can engage in self-study of a language and develop their own sense of fluency. People should not take for granted how important it is to spend time not only thinking about the language they want to learn but how they want to learn a language. Underlying all the apps and methods of learning a language is motivation, and like we have stated before, motivation is the key factor throughout all language learning. Many intermediate language learners talk of hitting a plateau in which the quick results of the early stages of language learning give way to marginal gains. Language learners that are self-studying need to constantly reflect and keep motivated through setting achievable short-term goals. There is a wealth of free information online, but one needs to constantly reflect on how to achieve and alter their goals to incrementally improve to attain that sense of reward. All people who are studying something need to feel a sense of progress, which is definitely true of language learning, so self-reflection regarding one's methods, focus, and motivation is necessary to ensure that one is developing the right goals for themselves, hitting these goals, and then, renewing them. Thanks for joining us in our discussion of the motivation around being a language learner and the need to constantly set achievable customized goals. We encourage you to read the links below our videos for further information and to check out some of the other content on our channel. Please like, subscribe, and share, and as always, we wish you the best of luck.